Here and welcome to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to look at the coins that France had in general circulation prior to the introduction of the euro. Now, none of these are commemorative coins. We do those in some of our other videos, but I just wanted to have these particular coins were the regular circulation coins that were available prior to, and in some cases a little after the introduction of the euro. So we have the 1 centime here, 5 centime, 10 centime, 20 centime, half franc or 50 centime, 1 franc, or I guess you could say 100 centime, the 2 franc and the 10 franc coins of France. So let's take a look at them. Each one of these was in circulation in 2001 when France introduced the euro. And if we blow this one up, we see it's 1970, 1 centime. It's a stainless steel coin. Over here, we have what they call in France the Privy Mark, or the mark of the head of the mint. And the head of the mint in 1970 was Raymond Joly, and he had an owl for his Privy Mark, and you can kind of see the owl sitting up there. This is a stainless steel coin. It says 1 centime on that side, and if we flip it over on this side, it says Republique Francaise, and it has the ear of wheat. Next up, we have the 5 centime coin from 1987. And you can see that's a different color and different metal. And this is an aluminum bronze coin. In the 5 centime in 1987, they made 310 million of these. And on the back, it has the olive branch and then the ear of wheat. And this particular image was engraved by Adrienne Douadonnet, right there, Douadonnet there. And if we look, and we see the mint mark here is a dolphin. So that's the new mint director, and that was Rousseau, who came on in 74 and was the mint director and had a dolphin on his till 94. If we flip it over, we see just this beautiful engraving by Henri Lagrafou, which it says right here, Lagrafou, Republique Francaise, and just she almost looks like a fighter pilot, but I know she's not. I mean, that old fighter pilot where they kind of wore the cap, but look at the hair blowing back in the breeze and this beautiful engraving. I should say they made 310 million of these, so they made a bunch. The next up we have is the 10 centime coin. Again, liberty, equality, fraternity up here. 10 centimes, the same olive branch, the same wheat. It's 1980, and we have the dolphin here. If we flip this over, we see we have the same image, the Lagrafou image, and again it says Republique Francaise on here. Aluminum bronze, and for the 10 they made 140 million of these in 1980. Next up, we have the 20 centime, and I'll have to change the magnification a little bit on that. In 1982, they made 150 million of these 20 centime, and again, we see the dolphin here, the olive in the wheat. We see liberty, equality, fraternity, Douadonnet up here as the engraver, same as the last two. And then again, we see the Lagrafou Republique Francaise on the 20 centime. Next up, we make, and let me say that the 20 centime, they made 150 million of these in 1982. And again, it's aluminum bronze. Next up, we have the half franc coin. And this particular coin is a very small coin. If we put the 20 centime next to it, you can see just how big it is. Then the half franc coin is a different material. You can also tell that it's a nickel coin. This is a 1987, and they made in 1987 they made 50 million of these half franc or 50 essentially centime value coins. On the back here we have the Liberty, Equality, Fraternity motto, and the engraver of this particular coin was Louis Oscar Roti. And we see the olive branch here. And again, we see the dolphin for Rousseau. And the front is that famous French coin engraving by Oscar Roti, and that is the Au Roti, it says down here, Republique Francaise, and this is the sewer, and she is hand seeding probably some wheat or some grain crop here. Sun coming over the horizon, just that beautiful hair flowing back. This particular coin, they made 50 million. Next up, we have the 1 franc coin from 1978. And in 1978, they made 136.6 million of these coins. And again, it is nickel. I'll change the magnification a little bit. Liberty, Equality, Fraternity. Again, it's a roti back. And again, we have the Oscar Roti sewer on the front. And that's a much better view of the Oscar Roti. You can actually see the O and R-O-T-Y there. Republique Francaise. Next, we have the 2 franc coin from 1980. Again, Liberty, Equality, Fraternity. They made 100 million of these in 1980, and this is a nickel coin also. Now, this particular image, when we look at here, we see, of course, it says 2 in the front, and we have these leaves in the back, and it's an olive branch and an oak branch. And we see that it has this dodecagonal kind of inner rim here. And then if we flip it over, we see the sewer. And now you can just see, you can see the rays of the sun. So this is a much better condition. And then down here, we see kind of an interesting thing here. And that is, it says, d'après au roti. So what they did was they redesigned this image in the image of the Oscar Roti original sewer, which he made. Oscar Roti essentially did the sewer in 1900. This particular coin is a redesign for the 1980 minting, and again we see the 8 sides going around here. And when they say d'après au roti, they say after the style of Oscar Roti, and so they kind of stylized it based on his original. They made, again, they made 100 million of these 2 francs in 1980. And next, we have the 5 franc coin. And where is it? Here it is. Here's the 5 franc coin, and that's a 1974, as you can see. It's a copper nickel coin, so they've changed it a little bit from a nickel to a copper nickel, so this is a much heavier coin. They made 26.9 million of these in 1974, and this, when we look at the back, we see again kind of the intertwined oak, olive, and wheat. So we have them all right here, and again, since we bounced back to 1974, we hit the Raymond Joly, his last year, and we see that there's an owl on this one. And if we flip it over, we see again, this is the Oscar Roti from 1974. So the difference between this one and this one is essentially just a difference in stylization. They actually changed the lines in the woman's dress a little bit and a few other things. Made it a little tiny bit cleaner, but this is the original Oscar Roti, and this is the after the style of Oscar Roti. So you see just little differences here, little differences in how it comes around the back, and it's a little slimmer and smoother and cleaner stylized, but it's made. This is the old one from 1974, and this is the new one that they did later. And so in 1974, they made 26.9 million. And on these ones, you see that we have a rim that has a reeded edge on those. And these are big, heavy coins. And finally, we have the 10 franc, which is somewhat smaller. And this is from 1991. And you can see this is a bimetallic coin. Again, it says Liberty, Equality, Fraternity, 10 francs, 1991. If we blow it up, we see there's a dolphin down here. And this coin, they made 100 million of these. It's bimetallic. It has a nickel center, so this is nickel, and this is an aluminum bronze outside. So they kind of combine the materials of both materials that they used in their coins in this particular one. And then we flip it over, we see a much different image on this one. And this is called the Spirit of Freedom, or Génie de la Liberté. And it's a sculpture that's on top of the July column in Paris, and it's flanked on each side, and essentially there's an R for here and F here, Republique Francaise. See how that torch goes right up through the top there, just in a beautiful engraving. The star here, the flying angel here, and just the different lines going throughout. Now this coin actually stayed in circulation until 2005, so a number of years after the euro was introduced. And this coin, they made 100 million of them, and it is, if we look at the edge, it is a segmented edge. So some of it's reeded, some of it's smooth, some of it's reeded, some of it's smooth, and that goes all the way around the outside. There are 5 reeded sections as you go around the outside of this coin. All right, let's bring them all back in if we can. I'll just pile them on top of each other. And that is our general circulation coins from France from prior to the introduction of the euro coin. Have a great day from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel.